Inazuma's favorite firework creator is back in the 4.3 patch. Yep, who else if not Yoimiya? If you're still indecisive or hesitant for pull this cute explosive girl, or you guys still confused or distressed with her kit, build, or her team composition, so therefore, let's discuss about Yoimiya's kit together. The first one is her skill, Newbie Fire Dance. Yoimiya will get Pyro Infusion while the skill is active, and add Blazing Arrow to the enemy that can give more normal attack damage. This skill have 10 seconds duration and 18 seconds cooldown. And now, the ultimate, Ryukin Sexy Rage. Yoimiya will jump in the air and shoot Ryukin Sexy Rage firework to the enemies. Yoimiya will give Aura's Blaze Mark to the enemy who get hit to her ultimate or elemental burst. When team member hit an enemy who get the mark, it will add little sparks who cause pyro damage. This effect only can be triggered every 2 seconds. The mark will stay for 10 seconds. The ultimate have 15 seconds cooldown and 60 energy cost. Oh, and for Yoimiya talent level, you can prioritize her normal attack talent first, and after that, her skill talent. Lastly is the ultimate. Next, we got to know her passive talent. First is Tricks of the Troublemaker. While her skill is active, every normal attack that hit the enemy, it will increase 2% of Yoimiya's pyro damage bonus. This effect have 3 seconds duration and can stack up to 10 stack. It's mean Yoimiya can get 20% of pyro damage bonus. Next is Summer Night's Dawn. When Yoimiya uses her elemental burst, all of her party, exclude her, will get additional 10% attack for 10 seconds. And then, there is another additional attack buff based from her previous passive talent, Tricks of the Troublemaker. So, if we use Yoimiya Elemental Burst when she had full stack, we can get 10% additional damage to the party, except Yoimiya herself. Next, let's talk about her artifacts. The first option is 4-piece of Shimenawa, because this artifacts can increase normal attack damage by 50%. Yep, it's so suitable for Yoimiya. Then there's 4-piece Echoes of an Offering. This artifact is also suitable for Yoimiya because it can increase normal attack damage by 70%. But if you use this artifact, make sure your Yoimiya has a high and stable crit rate. But besides from these two artifacts, here are some alternatives that you can use. 4-piece of Crimson Witch for additional pyro damage and more elemental reaction damage. 2 split attack percent artifacts to give your Yoimiya even higher attack. 2-piece attack percent and 2 Crimson Witch is also pretty good option. For the main stat, you can use attack percent Sense, pyro damage Goblet, and crit rate or crit damage Circlet. As for the substat, you can prioritize crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, and lastly, add a little bit of elemental mastery or energy recharge if you can. The next one is weapon. Yoimiya has quite a lot of options for her weapons. For 5-star weapons, of course, her signature weapon, Thundering Pulse, is the best weapon for her. You can also use Polar Star, and if you get Skyward Harp or MS Bow in the weapon banner or standard banner, you can use it for Yoimiya. If you're an F2P player, don't panic, because Yoimiya also has several options of 4-star weapons that she can use. The first one is Rust. This weapon has a high attack percent substat and has a really good passive for Yoimiya. It can increase normal attack damage by 40% in Revivement 1 and 80% in Revivement 5. If you don't have a Rust, you can use the crafting bow from Inazuma, which is Hamayumi. This weapon has a substat and passive that are quite similar to Rust, so this is a good alternative if you don't have a Rust. King's Squire or the crafting bow from Sumeru can also be a pretty good option since it has a high attack substat and passive talent that can increase the user elemental mastery. Then there's the Blackleaf Warbow. You can get this weapon at Paimon's Bargain. This weapon has a decent crit damage as its substat, and in Revivement 1, it can increase the user's attack by 12% for 30 seconds after defeating an enemy. And lastly, let's talk about Yoimiya's team composition. Vaporize Team Comp. Use Yoimiya as main Pyro DPS, Shincho or Yeon as Hydro Applier, Yunjin for additional normal attack damage, and Bennett for attack buff, heals, and Pyro Resonance. For Mild Team Comp, use Yoimiya as main DPS, Rosaria to use her ultimate for more cryo damage and for cryo applier, Diona for shield and healer. Then for the last support in this team, it's quite flexible. You can use Bennett, Yunjin, or Sucrose. Burn team comp. Use Yoimiya as a main DPS, 2 off-field Dendro characters. For the Dendro character, you can use between Dendro MC, Nahida, Kole, or Baiju. And for the support, you can choose between Yunjin, Bennett, or Sucrose again. Then for the last team comp, it's Overload team. This team consists of Yoimiya as a main DPS, Fischl or Yaemiko as an off-field electro character, Bennett as a buffer, healer, and also for pyro resonance. And lastly, you can add Shivreeze as a support for this Overload team comp. Conclusion: you can pull for Yoimiya if you don't have a pyro DPS and lack of pyro DPS. Or maybe if you really love Yoimiya and want to go around Teyvat while taking down all the enemies that get in your way, then go for it. Because, come on, no one can handle Yoimiya's cuteness. Hey, thanks for watching. We have other video you can watch. It will be popped in the screen for now. Make sure you watch it. Once again, thank you. See you in another video.